Hey Leamons, welcome back to another video of mine. So yeah, today we will be discussing why people who mainly play Animal Jam Classic dislike and always talk negatively about Animal Jam Play Wild, otherwise known as Animal Jam Mobile, for devices rather than on the computer. So yeah, obviously Classic is on the computer, it always has been. It's the original game and it was meant to be on a computer because of the amounts of computer games around the time of its release. As time went on, the same people who made Animal Jam Classic, AJHQ, decided that they would make a game called Animal Jam Play Wild, which was for the phone, iPod, and iPad devices. This was because they wanted to somehow engage on the app video game trend instead of just on the computer, as it was slowly dying down. Many people who played Classic saw the new phone game and thought it was either two things: a good idea or a bad idea. Regardless of what anyone thought, it was definitely a big new thing within the Animal Jam community, being very relevant, and many Animal Jam creators made content of them trying out Play Wild for the first time. As time went on, things seemed pretty fine for the most part. Both games were regularly updated and maintained, making them both great fun options to play on. Personally, I was never a person who played Animal Jam on the computer, which is Classic. I started out with the mobile version instead, so I can't really understand why everyone likes the computer one so much, because when I tried it out, I kinda got bored for the most part. But the reason why is probably because I was used to Play Wild and the mobile Animal Jam experience. I mean, I would have to assume that's why. Either way, because of this, I do understand why many classic Animal Jam players didn't really enjoy it when Play Wild came out. It wasn't their comfort zone and cup of tea. It makes valid sense. Basically, in this video, I'm talking about why people who play Classic dislike mobile Animal Jam so much. But before we begin, I wanted to mention a giveaway I'm hosting for a pink bow tie off Animal Jam Mobile. It will officially end when I reach 12,000 subscribers, so let's keep at it, everyone. It's a giveaway video, and it's in my description and pinned comment section, so please go check it out for a chance to win. Anyways, I'm Leamonpuppy, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. Alright, so as I was previously saying, people who play Animal Jam Classic don't typically like Animal Jam Mobile. Why is that? What's wrong with Animal Jam Mobile? Is Classic superior? I'll try to get to all these questions throughout the video's time frame. Personally, I play Animal Jam Mobile and it's been my go-to version ever since I started getting involved in the Animal Jam community. It's nostalgic for me, believe it or not, and well, I enjoy it more than I do an Animal Jam Classic. But hey, that's just me. I know many people who prefer Animal Jam Classic, and it definitely makes sense as to why. I don't dislike either of the games, I just prefer Play Wild, in all honesty. Actually, so many of my friends play Classic instead of Play Wild, and it's just because that they're all in the community. A lot of my videos can sort of range between being for either games. I talk about subjects that could branch into both games, such as a recent video I made on toxic positivity. That video is more or less for both games. Even though I Play Wild, I honestly will just stick to talking about the overall community rather than just Play Wild shenanigans. Although, I have had my fair share of Play Wild related videos, and obviously my seal look is from Play Wild, so theoretically, I guess I am a Play Wild YouTuber. And how do I feel about it? When everyone makes fun of the Play Wild YouTubers because they aren't classic ones? Well, I don't really care. I mean, I sort of do my own thing anyways. I'm not your typical Play Wild YouTuber. I prefer to talk about in-game discussions or relevant issues rather than doing a skit or random thing within the Animal Jam Mobile game. I barely screen record stuff in that game other than me playing a minigame for background video. Actually, I have many classic Animal Jammers that watch my videos just because they aren't too subjected to one side of the community. I like Animal Jam Play Wild way more than Animal Jam Classic because I grew up with Play Wild. That's why. If I played Classic first, my opinion might differ, but because I didn't, well, I can't really say for sure. I'm not a huge fan of computer games. Anyways, I prefer apps on my phone or DS or Switch games, but of course Animal Jam isn't on any of those. So I think this must be the reason why I do like Play Wild more. And for those of you who didn't know, I actually did try out Classic a while back, and I don't know, I didn't really like it all that much. It just wasn't my cup of tea, and that's okay. So many people dislike Play Wild, and that sometimes can be kind of funny. Like, the jokes and memes they make are actually really funny. Even though I like Play Wild, it's just because I do see their point of view. Basically, Animal Jam HQ stopped making updates for Classic or is not bringing any new things. They would usually bring recycled updates instead. The reason why is because they were trying to focus mainly on Animal Jam Mobile, since it was the game making way more money. I don't blame them either. When it comes to making money, you should always prioritize the game that does help you make more profit. That is fine. But unfortunately, for all the people who played Classic as their main game, well, they got the short end of the stick, because it really started getting no updates or anything new. It even got a name swap, Animal Jam Classic, basically referring to it as the original game, but it doesn't actually matter enough to be just called Animal Jam. That title was given to Play Wild. Yeah, I still call Play Wild, because I can't really get used to saying just Animal Jam. I feel like that gets very confusing for my viewers otherwise. I mean, it still confuses me in all honesty. But this is why so many Classic players got mad at Animal Jam Play Wild. The reasons as to why they joke and meme about jammers in Play Wild. Why they don't like the new Jambasters, because all of them are just Play Wild creators. Well, all but one, which I'll probably get into in another video. I don't really blame these Classic players. No wonder they are upset and annoyed with Play Wild. I would be if the same thing happened, but opposite, basically being if they prioritize Classic instead of Animal Jam Play Wild. It's really sad to see that happen to a game that you have come to love so much over the years. A game with so much nostalgia and memories. All the good times. And you'll still have all these memories, but obviously it'll be hard to make new good memories and times without the constant updates and new features added to Classic. It's a shame, to say the least. Many of the Classic players look down on anyone who does play Wild or make Play Wild content, and I don't really blame them for that either. Many of the Play Wild community is pretty fake, positive, and toxic for the most being, but I still find goodness within it, so I guess that's all that matters to me. Also, for me, obviously, this doesn't really affect me in any way, shape, or form. I actually find the jokes about Play Wild really funny, since they're very true, and of course, I never really had played Animal Jam Classic to get invested in it either, which I'm super glad about, but I can only imagine what the Classic players had to go through. Many of them might have quit because of this. Some still are around, and I'd say that they are the real troopers for being able to do that. That's not easy when a game becomes so dry in updates and new features. I'm not sure if Classic ever will really get new things anymore. As for the mobile, Animal Jam just happens to make more money, and overall, it's just doing way better. It's just the facts, but we can't do anything about what's happening and what happened to Animal Jam Classic and Play Wild, so you'll just have to accept it and move on, unfortunately. Anyways, that's all I had to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me discuss this topic. The idea that people dislike Classic isn't like unknown by any means. It's actually pretty standard and many people do talk about it. I just wanted to also be able to say my own thoughts and opinions and cover it all in one big video. Comment down below how you feel about Animal Jam Classic and Animal Jam Play Wild. Are you sad or are you fine that they don't update Classic anymore? If so, then tell me why. Anyways, it's been Leamonpuppy. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time.